Welcome to the Daily Videcasting. This is the Deep Dive, and we are jumping immediately into today's essential stack of sources. Our mission, it's critical, delivering the core knowledge, the real implications from the 11 biggest posts bubbling up. Big tech, finance, global culture.
Exactly. We're not just, reading posts. We're synthesizing, connecting dots, looking at the strategy behind the headlines you've been sending us. Think of this as your fast track to really getting the landscape. So let's start where the money's moving, the AI economy.
Okay, first up, we've got two posts on a financial earthquake, really, confirmed by both its Spectator Index and at Kobe's letter. I'll merge them here. Breaking. SoftBank announced the sale of its entire stake in NVIDIA for $5.8 billion. And the second confirms SoftBank has sold its entire stake in NVIDIA, NVDA, for $5.8 billion.
Right. And let's put that profit into context before we get into the why. SoftBank's initial investment. Back in 2017, it was $1.95 billion. Selling for $5.83 billion, late 2025, right when the stock was peaking. That's a clean $3.88 billion gain. 199% return. I mean, that's a massive financial win.
It's huge, no doubt. But wait, if NVIDIA is still the engine, right, powering everything with H100s, selling now, isn't that a bit short-sighted, even with that gain? Are they basically saying they think the bubble's about to pop?
See, that is the deep dive nugget right there. It signals a strategic pivot, not necessarily pure cynicism about AI itself. This sale, it caused it a 2% dip, got people talking AI bubble again, but it shows SoftBank moving away from the, let's call it the commodity layer, the chips, the shovels, and shifting that capital toward the application layer. They're putting those billions into end-use tech. Think application-focused AI, maybe OpenAI competitors, specialized robotics.
So they see the hardware, the infrastructure as maybe peaking or getting commoditized soon.
Yeah.
And the real long-term value is software and actual physical integration.
Precisely. They're hedging against that hardware cycle risk. It's a huge bet on who uses the chips effectively, not just who sells them. Very aggressive, very forward-looking.
Speaking of aggressive and forward-looking, let's talk speed, XAI.
Yes.
Stunning. You shared this post from at NS123ABC. It just captures the velocity perfectly. Okay, here it is. BeIntelX AI, literally founded July 2023. Absolute nobody in the AI space. Elon tweets, "We're going to build the world's most powerful AI training cluster." Entire industry laughs. 122 days later, 100,000 H100s go brrr in Memphis. Colossus is operational. Entire industry. Wait, what?
Yeah, that speed, 122 days from just announcing it to operational status for Colossus. That's the thing to focus on. It's not just fast building. It shows this unparalleled ability to pull together capital logistics power instantly.
Okay, 100,000 H100s. What does that actually mean for, some listeners?
It means billions of dollars in hardware that's incredibly hard to get all in one spot. Deployed. And operational means that 1 GW data center they mentioned is drawing power, a gigawatt.
A gigawatt, that's huge.
It really underscores the scale. We saw that EPOCH AI data suggesting rivals, like OpenAI's Stargate, maybe 2.1 years. Meta's Prometheus, almost 9 years to hit similar capacity. XAI is it's on a totally different timeline.
Compressed.
Right. Setting a new bar, maybe an impossible one for others trying to compete in that foundational model space. Okay, let's pivot. From massive AI infrastructure to, accessible consumer infrastructure, internet access.
Good transition, because this next one from at Sawyer Merritt, it could really change the game for Starlink's market reach.
All right. New WS. SpaceX has introduced a new, cheaper $40 per month at Starlink plan in the U.S. with speeds up to 100 Mbps. The new residential 100 Mbps plan includes upload speeds not limited, unlimited data each month, $0 kit and free installation, 100 Mbps capped.
Key things there. The $40 price. And crucially, the $0 kit, free installation. That's huge. It's aggressively targeting basic home use, specific U.S. markets going head-to-head with cable. My first thought, though, capacity. If they get a flood of $40 users, doesn't that potentially degrade the service for the premium users, the ones paying more for that low latency and high speed?
That's definitely the strategic risk, yeah. But this tiered model suggests they're confident in their capacity growth. The 100 Mbps cap. That signals this tier is for basic stuff. Streaming, multiple devices, which, FCC data shows, is actually enough for most households. And by ditching that big upfront hardware cost, they unlock potentially massive adoption in rural areas, underserved places.
Right. Fulfilling the original mission.
Exactly. While also competing in suburbs, it's pure market expansion.
Makes sense. Okay, moving from access to security, at Level Coyula had a strong take on fundamental web safety.
Yeah.
But DNS hijacking is close to impossible these days because browsers verify HTTPS certificates and reject if the SSL cert doesn't match. They can't generate a proper fake SSL cert without compromising a CA certificate authority. HTTPS is extremely safe because it's encrypted even.
This is such an important reality check. People still worry about simple DNS poisoning. But HTTPS, it really comes down to the certificate authority, the CA. Think of the CA as like the global passport office for the internet.
A passport office validating every website.
Pretty much. So for your browser to trust a fake site, like a fake bank login, the attacker needs a valid SSL certificate for it. And to get one that your browser won't scream bloody murder about, they'd have to compromise one of these CAs, these global passport offices, which is incredibly difficult.
So even if some local DNS spoof tricks my computer into looking at the wrong IP address, the browser sees the certificate doesn't match the domain name, throws up that big error, and blocks access.
That's the safety net right there. The real risk today, it's shifted. It's mostly social engineering, tricking you into installing malware that maybe installs a fake root CA on your machine. Basically giving the attacker their own trusted passport office right there on your device. Much more complex.
Got it. Okay, let's shift from web infrastructure to, the scale of web consumption. At Mr. Beast dropped a stat. Just a quick one, but it's mind-bending. 2% of human time is now spent on YouTube. Crazy.
Sounds like hyperbole, right? Just they're not. But if you actually quantify it, the math kind of holds up. You're looking at calculations based on, 8 billion people? Around 200 billion views a day, maybe averaging 25 seconds each.
Okay.
It averages out globally to roughly 48 minutes per person.
Per day.
48 minutes out of every single person's day just on YouTube. That's staggering. That's a huge slice of global attention.
And put that 48 minutes in context. It's almost exactly what the average U.S. adult spent watching traditional TV, like broadcast and cable, back in the late 2010s.
Wow.
So YouTube has effectively kind of colonized nearly an hour of global attention daily. That scale. Unprecedented for content delivery. It's blown past those old platforms. Okay. From digital consumption, let's go to the very real physical world. Infrastructure, safety. At BricsInfo, posted something alarming out of Asia. Sixth surge, Hanqi Bridge collapses in southwest China months after opening.
That headline immediately makes you think, engineering disaster, right? And the Hanqi Bridge, 758 meters, Sichuan province.
Okay.
It did partially collapse, but the cause, it was determined to be landslides. Shifting mountain terrain, which is a huge constant issue in that region.
Okay, landslides.
Yeah.
But still, collapsing just months after opening. Doesn't that suggest maybe a failure in the initial assessment or maybe material?
It definitely raises questions, But the crucial context here, the bit often missed, is 0 casualties.
Okay.
Officials had actually detected cracks beforehand. They proactively closed the bridge the day before it collapsed. So in a place like Sichuan, dealing with over 1,000 landslides a year, this actually points to, improved safety protocols, better sensors maybe. They spotted the danger and acted fast. The disaster response worked, even if maybe the initial geological risk assessment wasn't perfect.
That totally reframes it. From tragedy to, a test of their systems.
Okay.
From infrastructure wear and tear to personal wear and tear. We got an update from @Calorbs, Kevin Sorbo. Heading into surgery, need a total right knee replacement after years and years of constantly beating up my knees, filming Hercules and running 10 miles daily before that. It's finally time. I've had multiple meniscus and ACL tears, so this was just a matter of time.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? The long-term physical toll, whether you're an action star doing stunts, an athlete, even someone in heavy construction, chronic joint issues, osteoarthritis, very common in those fields.
So for someone like him facing that kind of replacement, what's the outlook? Clinically, is it a guaranteed fix?
Well, it's definitely a major surgery, but total knee replacements, TKRs, are actually one of the most successful procedures we have today. The data, peer-reviewed studies, show success rates over 85% for significant pain relief and improved function.
That's pretty good.
And implant survival. We're talking 88 to 90% still going strong after 15 years. The key caveat, though, is the patient has to commit to the physical therapy afterwards, rigorously, but very effective at restoring quality of life.
Okay, complete shift now. Culture, history. At No Opinion shared this observation from a trip. Visiting Paris really makes you realize how much of Western culture is just French culture.
That's a great observation. It really taps into historical soft power, How a culture influences others through appeal, attraction, not force. And France's impact is Well, it's baked into the West.
Could you give us some specifics beyond just, croissants and fashion?
Oh, yeah. Think about the foundations of Western thought. The French Enlightenment. Huge. Ideas like rationalism, secularism, individual liberty, they underpin so much of modern governance. And then there's architecture. French styles, from Gothic cathedrals way back right up to Art Deco in the 20th century, they shaped cities across Europe. Even military language. Words like general, lieutenant, army, corps, they're French words embedded right into English. Shows that pervasive influence across almost every domain.
That soft power legacy. Still potent. Okay, 2 quick final hits. First, startup ethics versus just pure grit. This story about Firefly's AI from @Rawanshong, it's wild, right? This story's insane. The founders of Firefly's AI, now a unicorn, pretended to be an AI note-taker before the tech existed. The founders would join meetings on mute as Fred from Fireflies, take notes by hand while sitting silently, send the AI-generated notes.
Huh. That's the ultimate Wizard of Oz test for a startup, isn't it? They managed to prove people would pay $100 a month while they were literally doing the work manually, apparently living on pizza before they automated it.
But the ethics, right? I mean, there's tension there. They were pretending to be an AI. Is that fraud? Or is it just extreme bootstrapping, resourceful market validation under pressure?
It sparks a fascinating debate, you know? They proved the outcome was valuable, getting those accurate notes automatically. It really highlights how resource-starved startups can be. Sometimes proving viability seems to require these, well, maybe deceptive pivots.
Yeah.
They walk that line,
Yeah.
testing the market versus maybe misleading users about the tech until they could actually deliver it successfully, it seems.
Okay, final post. And it ties everything back to how we learn about all this stuff. @Scobleiser, praising X as a learning system for complex topics. Why do I say that X is the best learning system the world has ever invented? It's a very technical paper on how world models, Air VLAs, make robots a lot smarter. Click the Grok button and ask, hey Grok, can you explain why this is important, like if I was a 9-year?
This really nails the power of generative AI as an analytical tool, a summarizer, a translator. The paper he's talking about, that's the Microsoft VITRA project. It's about pre-training robot models, VLAs, vision language action models.
VLAs. Okay, what's the key thing we need to grasp about that?
Well, traditionally, robots need explicit programming, right? Lines of code for every little task. VLAs, they kind of bypass that. They learn just by watching humans. The VITRA paper, they used 1 million episodes of just unscripted videos of human hands doing things to train these models.
1 million videos.
Yeah. And the aha moment is when Grok simplifies it, like Scobleiser asked, explains it as robots learning tricks from watching magic TV footage.
So that's the takeaway. They're automating the dataset creation. Robots learning autonomously by watching.
Absolutely. This approach could radically speed up getting useful, embodied AI, scaling up performance on tricky, real-world tasks, moving us much closer to general-purpose robots that can actually do stuff.
Wow. Okay. From billion-dollar pivots, insane AI build speeds, new internet access, web security, cultural influence, startup hustle, and robots learning from videos. We've covered a ton of ground today.
The pace is just exponential, isn't it? I mean, you consider SoftBank's pivot, XAI's speed, this VITRA model for embodied AI. It really raises a core question for all of us, for you listening. What foundational, non-technical skill should you prioritize learning right now? Critical thinking, better communication, ethical judgment. What skill helps you best apply this relentless wave of new technology? Something to mull over today.
A perfect place to end this deep dive. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you next time.